This week on the Push-Pull Legs podcast, an amazing PT contract and a frozen penis.
And what does Dan think about what I eat in a day? And 3, 2, 1. Happy belated Valentine's Day, Daniel.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push-Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damink.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, buddy?
Thanks, mate. Is my present in the post? Is it?
It is. Yeah, I've got both your presents that you bought for yourself right next to me. So yeah.
That means
golf
related. They're coming. As long as they're coming out, that's fine, mate. 2 golf tops. To be fair, maybe I'll wear them on the course. Maybe fresh.
Two golf tops. You got 2 packages. This isn't a golf top.
No, they're golf gloves. They're golf gloves in a small packet. They're 2 tops. Yeah.
It's cold in Dubai. Dan needs gloves.
Yeah, you know it, mate. You know
I think I've got 4 or 5 gloves in my bag right now. That's
why I got them, because I really like them because they're a bit different. They're not just like plain white ones. So I was like, right, I've got the plain white ones to do, play around in, and I got those ones to be a bit different.
These aren't white. These aren't white. What color are they? Oh, I might just open. I mean, I might open. I've got it right here, so I might open it.
There you go. No one knows.
I did think that. I was like, oh, but if I put it in my luggage, and then they'll be like, oh, what's in here? And I'm like, don't know.
Yeah. Has anyone given you anything to take with you that you're unaware of? Well, yeah, he has.
Yeah. This guy. It's Dan. Like, I don't know what it is.
One of the golf tops is a little bit out there. It may not get worn. It's a little bit out there, but fuck it.
Jesus.
So golf. It's a bit like that though, isn't it? Golf. It's a bit like I've seen some of the guys on the golf course. I'm like, actually, I really like that. It's a bit different. It's like not just a standard top. You know?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well,
it's not my stuff. Anyway,
we'll see if it makes an appearance, mate, and you come out. You never know.
We will see. What's been going on this week?
I've been busy this week booking our tea times when you're out here. It's just been stressing me out because I've had to make sure I get the exact times I want and go on the exact time they're released and all that sort of stuff. But got it.
That's the correct word there is the exact time Dan wants. Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm on holiday. I'd like a little line.
Yeah,
nah, of course not.
I've been making carve lines. I told you, got lions on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's fine. You've got 2 lions. Not a problem.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. I mean, that's more than I'd normally get, so that's fine.
Well, exactly. You'll be up so early anyway, so don't worry about it. You'll be used to it.
Yeah, I'll be doing the school run. I know your game, so
yeah.
You and Laura, they'll be like.
Yeah.
And then Isabel's just like, "Oh, you're taking me to school today, aren't you?" I was like, "Sure." I don't know which school, but we'll have a go.
Yeah. Don't know where, but let's just drive. Let's just go somewhere. Yeah. It's all fun and games, mate. Yeah, we've got everything ready now. So 2 weeks till you come out, isn't it?
10 days, mate. I think.
10 days, yeah.
Well, I fly. I think you receive me on the 26th, but I fly on the 25th. Done the old night flight, didn't I?
26th of the morning.
Yeah, unfortunately, mate. Sorry. Saturday morning. I think it's at a bearable time though as well. So I'm doing the old red eye, I believe they call it, because I have 0 issue sleeping anywhere. I'm one of those unlucky people. Everybody's like, "Oh, you unlucky person can sleep anywhere," and just kind of just collapse. I'm like, sorry. So I'll be refreshed. I'll probably be absolutely knackered more than likely. So
yeah, well, the thing is as well, because we'll have to take Saturday to acclimatise to the time zone a bit, because you'll be knackered, but then it'll still be like a full day ahead of you. So you'll have to work it out, and then big day Sunday, then driving range before you've got about 4 tea times in 5 days, mate. So
yeah, everybody's very excited. Me and Dan are going to do a course vlog, so look at that. I'm sure we probably won't be allowed, but we can hire Mike to do that. We should do a podcast straight from the golf course. Just record the whole thing. Bring Rick Shields on. There's a few I think YouTubers out there, I believe, golfy guys. So hit them up. They'll be like, I don't know who you are. We don't need to do anything together. We'll give you tips. Yeah, we'll make you better athletes. It'll be fun. Interesting week. Not much has happened to me. It was Valentine's Day, of course. That was exciting. Super Bowl happened. Dan, did you watch it?
No, I didn't. I realised I could have done, because I realised, what time does it start in the US? Is it 10 p.m. or something like 9 p.m.?
In the US, well, I give you in the UK, it started at 11:30 p.m.
Oh, so it's near 7:30 then in the US, isn't it? So yeah. It would have been stupid o'clock in the morning there. So no.
Yeah, it would have been silly morning. Yeah. But it goes on to about 3:30, 4 a.m. So you could have watched the last little bit, watched the last quarter or something like that. But obviously you saw the halftime show.
No.
You haven't even looked at that. I mean, I am a complete metalhead, but obviously it was basically all West. I got informed that all of the people from the West Coast, because it was on the West Coast at SoFi Stadium. You know how much? Give it a little higher or lower, or just a little random guess. Higher or lower than $3 billion was how much the SoFi cost to build?
Higher.
It was higher, $4 billion.
Oh, silly, isn't it?
No, higher or lower, Dan. $4 billion.
That wasn't the amount?
No.
Higher.
$5 billion, Dan. Higher or lower?
Fuck off. No way.
I think it's something like $5.5 to $6 billion. That stadium.
I thought you just said 4 billion, as in like I said.
Yeah, no, you
higher
did.
or lower 3 and like 4. I was like, wow.
So to put that in perspective, so you know the new Tottenham Stadium that cost just under £1 billion.
Yeah,
so
I was about to say,
yeah.
What are they putting in there? Like
I
solid
don't know.
gold seats? Like, come on.
Crazy. I mean, it looks cool. But yeah, the halftime show was Dr. Dre. I've heard of him. He's done well for himself.
Dr. Dre.
Eminem, he was there. Snoop Dogg. I quite like Snoop Dogg. Doesn't seem to take himself very seriously. He's doing a Bic lighter advert with Martha Stewart at the moment. Pretty weird.
I saw that. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah. But all I can think of, obviously everybody knows him over here as the Just Eat guy, right? So he's always on the Just Eat adverts. So very strange what people do in other countries, different adverts, right? Who else was there? Mary J. Blige. She was singing things. I heard her song. I couldn't name any of them, by the way. And there was another lad who I didn't know. There was 50 Cent. He was there. So I think it was all people who are under the Dr. Dre kind of producer, and found them, all those people. So I think they're all quite reasonably big names as far as I know. So yeah, done all right, haven't they? Big pull, that Super Bowl thing. Lovely.
I just don't get it. It's just a boring sport. I just don't get it.
Oh, it's so slow. Mate. You ridiculous human being. And then that, mate, I went to Cirque du Soleil at the Royal Albert Hall. It was quite good.
It's not like fun either.
It was amazing. Those people, literally, like absolute ridiculous athletes.
They are crazy, aren't they?
Jesus Christ. Like some of the stuff I was just like, nope. Would never be able to do any of that. So yeah, hats off to that. Like some Mexican based Cirque du Soleil. I'd never seen one before, so that was good. It was good fun. But that's been based. I can't remember what it's called, Lucia or something like that. So they've all got a different theme, I believe. So there's certain ones that are like that travel, and then there's some that like stay in Vegas, for example, the whole time. So this one's here for a month, and then it starts to do like a month. I think it does a month in each like European city, and then travels around. It's quite cool, like the circus, but it's Cirque du Soleil. It was good. It was good, mate. Cultural, something Dan doesn't know.
That's why I wouldn't like it. See, cultural, that's not my bag, is it? That.
But anyway, we got a couple of topics to talk about today. So we'll go for Dan's one first, because otherwise he'll throw his toys out the pram. We'll talk about flexibility a little bit. Flexibility, stretching, all that kind of stuff, all that fun stuff that we get told to do all the time. That's always good. Cool. And then something that I might go on a rant on about. I've set up Dan for a rant. For one of them, I'll do that second, and then I'm gonna have a little rant as well. Just because my business chat has gone annoyingly on this, and it still happens in some certain groups on Facebook that I'm a part of, and I get annoyed. This is speaking as an educator, and I get annoyed when these questions get asked, and people will say this stuff. It's madness, right? But we'll give our tips. Yeah, we'll get back to tips. So before, well, further ado, Dan, because I was roaming around London yesterday. Raining in London, mate. Raining. Never guessed. Raining. It hadn't rained for a while though. So, but I was like, oh, we actually haven't done a protein thing for a while, as we said. So I made an effort to go buy some protein bars or protein things. So I basically, Dan can chat and I can eat. So this was more because that basically. Everybody likes your.
Oh, that's why I'm talking about flexibility while you're eating. I saw a. Never gonna happen. What is it?
We can. What's this one?
They look like Oreos.
So yeah. So they were quite cool. You can get them from your local Boots. And they're
not gonna be good then.
Basically, I went into Boots and just went and checked the protein section. I got Gato protein cookies. Filled with extra cream, so I guess they're double stuffs, but they're salted caramel ones. There were like other ones, and I was just like, I'll get the salted caramel ones. And then this is just a Bear Bells one, but I don't know whether you tried it. It's their vegan thing.
No.
Hazelnut nougat, and you haven't tried it. I thought you had. So I've
tried the normal hazelnut one, but not the vegan one.
Hazelnut nougat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bear Bells had that before.
Your face is
but it wasn't vegan. It wasn't vegan. Yeah.
Was it not? All right. So we're going for the nougat. Bear Bells.
It's not gonna be good, mate.
213. 213. 15 grams of protein for 213 calories. They've cheated out on the protein a little bit, haven't they?
Always done the vegan ones, mate. Always a bit lower. Not gonna be as chewy though, is it? So that's a bonus. It's quiet. It's very, very quiet. He's not looking disgusted yet.
All right.
That's a good sign. It's all right, he says. He says it's all right, guys. There you go. Save the planet. Eat vegan.
I think that's better than their normal bars.
Wow. Okay. Now I'm intrigued. Bring some of them over with you.
Yeah. The hazelnut, because hazelnut's good. That's a good chocolate flavor.
Yeah.
Nougat makes it a little bit softer, doesn't it? A little bit softer, chewy. And that's all right. I would have that over their. I've had their bars before. There's millions of them around. Yeah, actually, all right. Well done.
Well, intriguing. It's
madness. This is literally. There's going to be a case where I'm just buying vegan protein bars.
It's improving a lot. Like I nearly bought some protein bars the other day, Tom, because I saw some, but they're ones we've already reviewed. So in the shop I was in, I could have got Misfits, the vegan Misfit bars. So over here, they're about £3 a pop. So again, like in the UK, it's what, 220, 230. You see them regularly. So I was like, it's not that bad. But I've tried them before and I'm just like, well, I know what the flavors are and all that sort of stuff. But they were, the Misfits ones are the good ones. I'm very impressed with them. It's not gonna be good, mate, that. I'm telling you now.
No, it doesn't look great.
No.
I know because it's been in my bag and I did have like.
No, it's because it's from Boots, mate. It's because it's from Boots.
Mate, the Bear Bells are from Boots.
Yeah, but that's Bear Bells. It's different.
Yeah, this is
I've
a brand I've never heard of. Gato creams.
Yeah, that's not a good sign, I don't think.
They are plant-based, 10 grams of protein.
It's just not enough, though, is it?
It's not enough, correct. I don't know. It must be just because obviously there's 2 biscuits. I've got 2 biscuits. If there's only 5 grams of protein per biscuit, that is awful.
Well, yeah, that's what it's going to be in it. It's like the grenade. Remember the grenade biscuits? It's like, oh, come on, like.
Yeah. They've hidden the nutritional content in an awkward place as well. That means they're not proud of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's hide this.
So it'll be 120 calories per biscuit. Yeah.
Nah, not for 5 grams of protein.
And 5 grams of protein. Yeah, that's poor. That's the same. 120 grams calories. That's the same as the pancakes, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's what it's up against. So there we go.
Nope.
No way. I told you that was not looking good. No, right, but how does that get in production though? Right. That's my question. Whenever you take something like that, I'm like, how has someone, I think someone just created a startup with stuff like that and just gone, well, we've got to do this now because we've spent all this money on it. So we might as well get it out there. It's like, just stop. Don't even bother.
See, I thought the filling would even be good. filling's not good. That's the fundamental flaw. So the biscuit, have you ever had those Belvita biscuits?
Yeah, the soft ones, yeah.
Yeah, it's more like a Belvita kind of breakfast biscuit. That's what it tastes like, OT breakfast biscuit. And that's not what I was looking for when I was biting into it. I'm going to be honest. I was expecting like an Oreo kind of thing. Just have some Oreos. Jesus. 5 grams of protein per biscuit. You're probably there with a couple of Oreos.
I was about to say, yeah, just give a 4 Oreos instead. You know?
That's bad. So yeah, don't bother. They had quite a few flavors in Boots as well. So they've gone at it. Gato creams. I'm probably not going to try anymore. But hazelnut nougat, Bear Bells vegan. Actually,
interesting.
Okay. I will, that as we know, the biggest compliment is I will finish it later this evening.
That is a very big compliment. So
I will give these ones, the biscuits, to Chloe. So that's good. Yeah.
As a treat for you.
I'll be like, I've saved something for you. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
You do that to Laura. You're like, oh, great, thanks.
Yeah.
What would you do? Do you give it to Laura or do you give it to Isabel?
Laura, definitely. Laura, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Isabel doesn't even eat nice things sometimes when you give them to her. So waste.
Right. Yeah. Just Dan's child, Dan's daughter, I think the favorite food, the last time I asked her about her favorite food, it might have been like 2 years ago now. Bear in mind, she was like 4, I don't know. And it was salmon and broccoli.
It's changed now, mate. It's not that anymore.
That was a weird thing for it was a very middle class thing for a 4-year-old to say.
Yeah, mate, and I think the problem was we rinsed it as well, because if your kid asks for salmon and broccoli, I'm like, there you go, take more of it, have more. Yeah. I think we rinsed it too early. Yeah, because now she's not. Now she's kind of into just ice cream and sweets. Is all she really wants. Like,
good girl.
Yeah, normal kid now. Yeah.
Speaking my language. I'm going to bring plenty of salmon and broccoli and be like, no, Isabel, it's the last time you told this was going to be amazing. You're going to love it. We're going to get smoked salmon, a bit of sashimi.
There's a place out here called Pinkberry, which is a frozen yogurt chain. So that's the new favorite, as you can imagine, because they have all sorts of toppings you can put on there, and they've got all the the crunchy, chocolatey, biscuity, bits as you can imagine. Yeah,
lovely.
She likes that, so I'm sure she'll want to take you there.
Flexibility, Dan. Talk to me about flexibility.
I saw a post of the day. I think it was like a sponsored post, or one of those ones that comes from an Explore page. I don't know what it was, some fucking bullshit. And it was like, do this stretch for 5 minutes a day and completely transform your flexibility. And I was just like, no, that's a load of shit. And I had a conversation with my client as well about flexibility, and they were talking about the bottom of their squat and wanting to get more range of motion. And they said, is there any stretches I can do to kind of increase this and improve it? And I was like, no, it's just really blunt. Like, no, it's not. No, what do you mean? I was like, well, sure, I need to stretch more. And I'm like, okay, so how long are you going to stretch for? I don't know, like, a couple of minutes before I train, a couple of minutes after I finish training, cool down. I was like, try that then. Go and try that and see if that undoes the 8 hours a day you sit down, the 8 hours a day you spend at your computer, not thinking about any of this sort of stuff. I was like, let's see if that works, shall we? And they were like, kind of good point. I didn't do it quite as blunt as that, but you get the
sign up for Dan's coaching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's this whole thing whereby like good weight training is in itself like mobility and flexibility training, good full range movements. And I was trying to explain to her that if she had a barbell on her back or in a front squat position or big heavy dumbbell in goblet position, and she was to hold the bottom position of that squat, I said to her, would it be uncomfortable? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, more uncomfortable than stretching? She was like, yeah, that's what you need to do then. I was like, get used to holding that position, get comfortable down there, force your muscles into an actual range of motion they need to go into. And I just think that people really overlook the fact that good loaded weight training is effectively mobility training, especially for like your hips, not so much like upper body stuff as much because it's a bit more dangerous. But again, I see people all the time say like, oh, I can't, I've got really bad hamstring flexibility. They're also the same people that can't RDL 40 kilos. And it's like, there's no surprise to me that the people who are quite flexible can touch their toes can also like RDL 100 kilos pretty well. I'm not talking big bodybuilders. I'm talking like normal people who can move as well. And again, like I had another new client sign up recently, and he came from a powerlifting background years ago. And he was saying how in just 2 weeks of training with me, he's noticing that his body feels better, he's moving better, and that he's really highlighting imbalances he had, just because the majority of the work he's doing now is single limb. And he was just like, I feel so good. I'm not feeling beaten up. I'm feeling like I'm really getting to new ranges of motion I've never been to before. And I'm like, yeah, because you're moving on one leg now. Like, we're getting you to move properly and all this sort of stuff. And I just think that one of the biggest problems, again, with flexibility training comes about from this view or this concept that you have to do stretches and that's it. And, you know, when you're sitting on fixed machines and you're doing double leg movements all the time, double arm movements, yeah, your flexibility will be pretty poor, because you think that by lifting those heavier weights, you're going to create more stimulus to grow and all this sort of stuff. But actually what you're doing is you're limiting range of motion. Like, again, with the bench press, if you go the barbell, you can't go as far as you can with dumbbells, technically, right? Same with shoulder press. You know, when you come down here with a single arm movement, you can get a lot better range and all this sort of stuff. And I think the other part of it is that people then use less weight when they do single arm, because they know they can't lift as heavy. So then they actually do use full range of motion. And then actually they start realizing that by training that way, they get more flexible, more mobile. And I think people confuse all these things when they talk about stretching, flexibility, mobility, and all this sort of stuff. And as we know, good training creates both stability and mobility, and single limb movements help with both of those things, right, at certain joints. And that helps create a body that can move better and function better. And it's why, you know, me and you can sit down for 8 hours a day, yet we can still be flexible and still be mobile and still do things that we've always been able to do. It's not because I stretch. I do not stretch. I don't stretch. I don't do it. I don't fucking stretch 20 minutes a day. No, not a chance. But yeah, I don't have poor mobility and poor flexibility, because I still train through full range of motion and I train the right way. And it just fascinated me that people are still stuck in this mindset of like, got to stretch. I'm like, no, you don't. You just train like shit. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, neither of us have been ones for, we'd like quite happily we do a little bit of mobility, like big prerequisites before we train. I do that. I've always done that kind of thing. And those things are hips and T-spine, and that's it. I'll be like, all right, it's more, but you can look at it more of a factor. I'm probably not sitting there yanking on my end of my range, trying to like, all right, we're going to really pull this muscle group apart. I'm like, it's a little bit more just moving it through its range, starting to get twigged on. Because I think underlying the issue is the general person, the definition of flexibility is crap. And they think flexibility, I mean, I saw the post, flexibility is key. Flexibility is not key. And flexibility is range of motion without stability and without strength. Flexibility is being able to push past or an increased range of motion without any kind of control. What myself and you are pretty good at is doing full range with control. That's mobility. So flexibility times strength equals mobility. So that's the issue. When people are mobile, they have control over the end of range as well. It's because there is a caveat of like, all right, yeah, this person's really flexible. Like, okay, there is such a thing as being too flexible, because end ranges tend to suck at the end of their strength curve, and they cannot have any access to like a muscle group to create any torque and move it with any kind of power. Everybody knows one of the simplest things we could probably look at is a pec fly. At the bottom of a pec flyer, when you're really, really wide, is it harder to fucking move? And is it a big stretch? Yes. Easy. Cool. That's what I'm talking about. If you had too much of a load and you're unable to hit that position, like, then yeah, crazy. Knock it down and try and be flexible or mobile through that range of your pack, which I guess a lot of people would suck at. Don't know why you're doing dumbbell ones anyway, but just for variation, I guess. I like that's another argument for people like, oh, you've got to use the cable for that. It's like, fuck off. Like, it's fine for a little bit of variability. Why are you using that one? It's suboptimal. All right. Well, I got bored of using a trap bar for 4 weeks, so I'm going to use this one today, and then I'm going to go back on it next week. Is that okay? All right, cool. I fancied using some kettlebells. I think people, yeah, that's the whole online argument. As people are like, oh, it's clearly suboptimal time. Why have you not picked this exercise? Go away. I'm training you out. Fine. If you want to do the same exercises, which generally is the same movement pattern, fine. I'm just like, I just want to hold that handle instead of that handle this week. Fine. But yeah, the flexibility thing's an interesting one. I think Because I'd say people will generally feel better when they're training at full range. They will get more flexibility, 100%. But the way to get it, if people are like, oh, but how do I access that new flexibility with more control and mobility? It's the strength training and having a coach that will be able to be like, all right, at the end of range, or when you feel that stretch, for example, in an RDL, it's manipulating pauses and doing slow eccentrics into end range and like kind of bouncing out of it. That's absolutely fine. So you get a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more every single time. That's what you start to look for in a coach, and not being like, all right, well, actually my flexibility is never going to improve, and I'd rather you just start loading it up, and then it decreases and decreases and decreases, because you're just loading that muscle spindle up and being a little bit, for lack of a better term, tighter. So yeah, horrible thing. I don't know where it's like bastardized a little, or where it's like, where is it popularized more? I think people look at it.
Like, I'll tell you what it is. It's because people feel immobile and inflexible. So people just throw it out there, and then people sign up for it and pay money for things to learn how to stretch and shit. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's not a particularly sexy thing to tell people, but I think it's everyone feels like they're inflexible. Like, you speak to most people, you write an advert saying, sit at your desk all day and feel inflexible. I mean, how many fucking people are going to get? Like,
yeah. And then the caveat people are going to come back with us would be like, oh, but what about yoga and stuff like that? You're doing it for over an hour, and most of those are holds or isometric holds, which creates tension in the muscle group, which will increase range of motion. So yeah, I'm quite happy to do that, because they're loading. There's generally stacking joints. They're loading things, and muscles are getting used. Absolutely fine. They're not usually just sitting in your ass having a little stretch. Unfortunately, they're normally hard, those sessions, aren't they? So they don't load them particularly that well, but they load them with their body weight. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, that's a weird one. What top exercises for range of motion, stretchiness, flexibility?
Oh, I love a paused goblet squat. I think so many people could benefit from a 20-second paused goblet squat, performed well 3 or 4 times. You're feeling that, and you're knowing then where your range of motion is. And as long as you keep everything tight and you keep everything upright with your upper body, and you know what you're doing with that, like, that is going to be a winner. Likewise, again, Bulgarian split squats, people fucking hate them, but that's why they hate them. That is why they hate them, because
I remember I had that, I think one of your old clients, he messaged me, James, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he messaged me, and he was like, about the Bulgarian split squats, the rear foot elevate. He was like, game changed when you and Dan said on a podcast once, your back knee has to touch the floor. I was like, what the fuck were you doing before? And he was like, it wasn't touching the floor. I was like, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And that's it. You know, it's that whole thing of that movement will stretch out your other side of your hip as well, right? It's not just the leg you're using and all this sort of stuff. And people really underestimate the split squat position. Like, it's just frightening, like how much flexibility and extra ability you can get from doing that repeatedly as well. It's those two for me. I've never seen anyone do those movements and not become more mobile from doing it. Just hasn't happened.
Goblet squats are a big one. I tend to do, if somebody is a little bit sucky, getting their depth in their goblet squat, again with the pauses. But obviously I've got the blessing of coaching it through. But when you hold in your goblet, and say the ideal position is your elbows are pressed against your knees or tucked into your knees, and you start moving around your hips, kind of moving your knees around and moving your hips around whilst in that base position. So you're as deep as possible, you're sitting into it, and you've got that load on you. And then you're trying to move your hips, you're moving your feet around, you're pushing your knee over your toes and moving it all the way around. It's like kind of ball and socket joint. So you start to really feel the whole capsule of your hip. That'll be one if generally people are feeling tight in the hips and all this business. That'll be something that I would start to do. And then because you got that goblet, you're having to keep an upright torso the whole time, because you're just going to fall over and be incredibly like metabolically taxing if you don't keep that, basically. And then you said it, RDLs. I literally program, and literally one of my cues is this is a loaded hamstring stretch. That's all I'm looking for. That's fine. That's what I want. And another one for overhead stuff would be something that people do not do whatsoever, is a more of an incline pull, not a lat pull down. So they use a cable machine into a half kneeling position, and your torso meets the angle of the cable, not you like trying to just yank the cable. So you move your torso forward so it's in line and kind of parallel with the cable that you're pulling down from that half kneel. So you get into a stretched overhead position for that kind of lat pull down, instead of having a lat pull down, which is just a little bit in front of you and you're having to purposely rock back, which is cool for your lat, but I'm looking for a stretch and to get somebody, because one of the big things is mobility overhead is usually sucky. So this is one way to caveat it and try and do it. You can combine that with either a W pull down or a cross pull down is what we teach PTC wise. So a cross pull down is the one where you're basically, you get a little bit more scapulothoracic rhythm, Daniel, I believe it's called. So basically your shoulder blade rotates up and down like it should. Crazy. Yeah, you pull across your body. And that looks pretty good. I've done that for a while, mate. Probably do them. That would be my top 3 of mobility based exercises, because I'm part of the chain of, you get a lot of people who I think when you're doing rows, some of them ask, I don't know whether this was around maybe 5-10 years ago, where they asked the shoulder blade to be packed and set down, and you kind of don't move it from that structure. And then I'm assuming you and me are the same, where we want that shoulder blade to move out of that structure and go forwards and backwards, because that's a mobility thing. So we want that to happen. Lovely.
We do.
All right. Let's throw it up. Something that's been appearing on my newsfeed. Explore that one. Far too frequently for my liking, Dan. And I think this is because of January. It's now February, I get that, but still. What does Dan think of? Hey guys, this is what I eat in a day.
Boring, isn't it? I think it's just so fucking boring. But do you know what though? It's weird though. I agree it's fucking pointless, right? I get that, and I get the argument. It's pointless. But I also post the food that I eat, and people are genuinely interested. Like, I've posted this before, and I've said, "Do you care what I eat? Like, I'm posting my food. Do you actually care?" People actually like to know what nutrition people eat. Like, it's nutrition weird.
People. Wrong, everybody's a nutrition person.
Yeah, well, no, they're not. Are they? That's the point. They're not, though, are they? But I know what the argument is, and I get it. It's useless information for most people, but it's that whole thing of people want to see the inspiration and see that fitness people can eat normal food, you know, like, but then at the same time, it's never a Krispy Kreme donut. It's never like, it's never a Krispy Kreme donut, is it? Or cinnamon roll. It's always protein pancakes or chicken salad. And, you know, it's always low calorie stuff and things like that. But I don't think you need to make a post about it. I think posting it on your stories, like the odd meal you have and here and there is one thing. Doing a whole post on Instagram dedicated to every single thing that crossed your lips for a day is a bit much, like, I think. But yeah, they're useless. Like, it's pointless. Don't get me wrong, because everyone has their own unique tastes and what they like and calories they need, all that stuff. Like, completely pointless. Yeah,
they're an interesting one. I'm just like, oh, great, thanks. I do annoyingly, I flick through it because I'm just like, why are you doing it? But
you see, but this is also why I think people post it.
Food.
But this is why people post it, is because it must get engagement. It must get likes. Like, it must get that. It's like the whole reels and the dancing. It's like, it must fucking work. People keep doing it. So although we never do it and it's stupid, people must be getting good results from doing it. Otherwise they wouldn't keep doing it, right? That's the kind of thing. And I think it's for whatever reason, it seems to be something that people like to hear about. I mean,
enjoy. I don't know, but yeah, it does seem to be like, oh, I'm having this berry porridge that's 200 calories and this with all these nice things, and then it would be like, yeah, some special lunch and this special snack. It's all far too healthy for me. That's the only thing. I'm like, no, I want to see what you eat when you're hungover. That's what I want. That's what I want to look at. So let's see what happens then. What do you eat past 2 a.m.? Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. So I want to see what you eat past 2 a.m. only. Yeah. I'm not a fan of them and it also tends to be the same people. Unfortunately, it is probably, I'm guessing the ages of 18 to 25-year-old females is what I see. It seems to post most that's on my explore page. God knows why. And that's all I'm searching, Dan. All I'm searching is
you're looking for what I eat in a day. That's why. You're looking for what I eat in a day, mate. You've been searching for it. Mine's just full of golf. Mine is full of golf.
Yeah, it starts to go towards, doesn't it? Yeah.
Golf and half-naked men. So there you go. That tells you what I've been looking at there. Guys with their six-packs out being like, next level, taking this to the next level, taking my physique up a level, or big arms workout. No, don't need a big arms workout, mate. Fuck off.
Yeah, mine's
it's just golf.
I have golf, Mandalorian, like Boba Fett, bit of football, a lot of Star Wars. And here's another one, high protein carbonara. It was probably good. And then, full day of eating, 2,500 calories on my explore page. Super annoying. Full day of food. They're listening to me. I swear they are. Let's look at it. I don't know who this lady is. But yeah, one sesame bagel. Love your veg Thai pea mint soup. What? Soup for breakfast? Meal one?
No thanks, mate.
That's nobody's having that. And yogurt. No one. Soup and yogurt.
Together?
Yeah, she's like had 400 grams of Alpro. I mean, we're just going to rip this apart. A full day of vegan eating, basically 2,500 calories. So a sesame bagel. This is just on, I don't know who it is. I'm assuming they don't follow me. Red Listed Disgrace, Melon, 734 calories. A lot of calories for breakfast or meal one.
That is a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot. Yeah. Meal two, oat drink.
It's not a meal, is it? You've had a drink.
And vegan Maryland cookies, 3 of them. And then meal 3, naked tofu, teriyaki, ginger, and stir fry sauce. Nobody makes that every single day, do they?
No.
That's crazy. And then, okay, this one's good. This is more like it. Meal 4, malt loaf.
It's not a meal, is it?
It's not a meal. Meal 5, baked potatoes, beetroot, whole white pitta, and beyond meat. And then meal 6 is chocolate caramel misfits, of course, and vanilla yogurt. 2 yogurt. I do like yogurt, but 2 yogurts in a day, bit punchy. Unless one of them is Yop, I'm not doing that. So, also, I did go into Lidl last week, Dan. Very dangerous thing. I had to get some toilet paper on the way home from golf, and I was like, "Oh, there's a Lidl. I'll go get toilet paper. Lovely." Just walking around there, I just pick up so much goodies and snackies, and
it's that sort of place, isn't it?
So many snackies. Jesus. And then I walk out. I've only spent 20 quid. And I've got
that's it, isn't it? You kind of there's no regrets, is there?
No, I've done really well here. And literally messaged Chloe. I was like, you never guess how much this will cost. This is amazing. I went into the yogurt section, got about 3-4 yogurts I'd never tried. I bought some Kinder Pinguis. Really weird. They're kind of a cross between a choc ice and with Kinder chocolate kind of thing, but you keep it in the fridge. So it's kind of a cross between a cake bar and a choc ice. They're really quite nice. Pinguis. Rate them. I was just unsure on them. They were lovely to have, but I was just like, oh, I don't know where they sit with me. Is it a snack? Is it a dessert? I don't know. Anyway, digress. Right, last one, Dan. This is going to throw me on a rant a little bit. Okay, so the one thing that it's been a pet peeve for a while, obviously, as an educator, and I know you feel exactly the same way. And it has been asked far too much, unfortunately, in the My Protein group that I'm in, and I normally offer my advice on this, and is why are people obsessed with having level 3 or level 4 or CPD points attached to an educational thing that they want to do and go and do. And why are they so obsessed with the title of what they're about to go and kind of, I don't know, learn, or the course that they're going to do, yet they will never look into who is instructing that course whatsoever. They'll be like, all right, I'm going to go do a reps for, I don't know, S&C course. Literally no idea who the S&C coach who's going to be teaching, whether they're a good coach, whether they've got kind of social proof, all that kind of stuff, whether they actually achieve results, whether they know what they're talking about, whether they just learn a syllabus and they're teaching it, because that happens. Believe me, I am an accredited assessor and teacher, right, or tutor. I can literally just get sent the slides for a pre and postnatal course, and I can teach it tomorrow because I'm a tutor. That's it. That's all it says. And it annoys the hell out of me that is, but people don't look to whom is teaching. Like, there's people obviously ourselves, like Lift the Bar, that kind of thing. Like, you know that Greg's going to do a good job, or you know that kind of. But they've got social proof. You know who they are. They've got kind of this personality behind them. Unfortunately, I'm like, if you're going to go to a biomechanics course, you're just relying, hoping that this person's going to be okay.
That's just because they need a certain amount of points for CPD, no?
Yeah. But why? the question is why is that important? Why is the CPD?
Oh, it's not in any way, shape, or form. I remember when I did my CSCS, my Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist thing in America. At the time, I was at uni. I did my master's degree at the time. And a guy that I was working with, he got the same thing, and he was due his recertification, and he needed to do modules. And he's like, I'm not doing that. He's like, bollocks, am I doing that? He's like, I've done it. I've done my course. It's just wait for them to make more money. That's all it is. It's like rep certified. They've got to pay to be rep certified, so they're paying the company. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just money making. It's not there's no benefit to it. Like you said, it's these people that are doing these courses probably aren't who they don't have the skills they say they do, or can't help as much as they think they can. And fortunately, it's the world we live in, where it's kind of like, and I understand there needs to be, this is the problem, isn't it? Is there needs to be some sort of regulation in our industry, but then at the same time, the way it's regulated is shit. So, so for example, you could say, oh, it needs regulation. People need to be, making sure they're doing continuing professional development. But then they do this system where it's like, well, you can just do any fucking course, earn 6 points, and that's it, done. And you're not actually doing it. You're doing it by the book, but not actually getting any better. Whereas I know a lot of good people who are continuing professionally developing just from the people they hang around with, but not doing it for CPD points and stuff, but yet they would get penalized. And it's like, well, that's not good, is it? It's just shit. It's always going to be shit. It's never going to change.
It's a weird one. So like, we both follow like the rugby strength coach, right? And he's got SCN, is it Strength Coach Network? We both know his stuff is fucking great, and he's obviously incredibly opinionated, but he knows what he's talking about. He uses rationale. He does all this kind of stuff. Yeah. That would, in theory, Stretch Code Network and his stuff is not CPD regulated, whatever, but a level 4 S&C course, crack on and do that. And I've sent you some of the stuffing that's been done by that, and how, unfortunately, it does not look fantastic. And I'll be like, if I was to point somebody, I'll be like, please go do this. Oh, but there's no points, and I don't get a level 4 certificate. All right, please show me the client who has decided to go with you because you've got a level 4 certificate. You can write S&C. You can write S&C next to your name, but just don't write the words level 4. Magic. Unfortunately, the client doesn't have a fucking clue. It doesn't matter. No, like I don't even know what if you say you're going to be employed. But most of our industry is self-employed. So this is ridiculous. If you're going to be employed, I don't know many employments that have required that level 4 status or anything. No. I've never seen any. Oh, unfortunately, it's very strange. It's really strange. So yeah, hopefully they'll bring you in for an interview and they'll do a little kind of test themselves. So certainly what we do. So yeah, it's a bugbear. Obviously, we had to jump through a hoop, but I was like, why get the endorsement, because it costs like nothing. But I don't want the accreditation. What's the point?
Yeah,
I don't really get it. It's like, and then we went to an insurance firm and we were like, look, this. Could you be a level 3 personal trainer if you'd qualified, if you did PT court? They were like, yeah, that's fine. We'll give you insurance. We're like, perfect. All right. Just do that then. Like it's crazy. So yeah, so my advice to anybody out there is go look at who's coaching the course. Go look at who's teaching the course. If you resonate with them and what they kind of talk about and how they do things, and you'd like the stuff, then go do it. If the course is just behind a big company and you have no access to who's coaching, I don't get it. It's because some of the better courses that we've been to, I know me and you, probably our first like PT courses were like Dean Somerset and Tony Gentlecore, but we went because it's Dean Somerset and Tony Gentlecore and they're good coaches. Mm-hmm. That's why we didn't go because it's the level 4 hip and shoulder rehab course. Probably wouldn't have gone. Like, but that's what it was. It was like a shoulder rehab strength course. And we were like, this is going to be good because they know their shit hot at what they do. And they couldn't care less. They were like, yeah, apparently this has got NSEA points or whatever, but doesn't matter. We're like, yeah, not here for that. Doesn't matter. So yeah, that's my advice on people. Hopefully the people.
And the other thing as well is like, I would say to anyone listening is like, look, me and Mike are going to be taking on a new coach, right? And at no point did me and him sit there and go, right, well, they've got to have all these qualifications. They've got to have all these, all these points. Like, we literally have gone, right, well, they've got to have level 3 PT because, like, you just need that, right? That's all they need, or degree. Like, again, I haven't got level 3 PT. Don't care, but I've got, degree, so it's fine. But that's what we were saying. We were like, that's all we need. Like, we're not looking at anything else. We were like, as long as they've got personality, they've got a track record of helping people, they give a shit about their coaching, and they want to learn from people that can help them, that's all we need. That's all we need. And I think that one of the biggest lies we get told when we're younger is that we need qualifications and we need all this sort of stuff. Fuck me, like, and I think we do get told it by people who do know better, like, oh, it's about who you know, it's about networking and all this sort of stuff, and it's about your network and and it is. But that also comes about because you care about what you do and you get surrounded by people who give a shit. And I just think that it's just massively overrated. I think that if you're willing to try hard and willing to be one of the best you can be in your industry, you will have the qualifications anyway, because you'll have done the education that's required to pass it, but you just won't have done the fucking exam that someone else has set and you've got to pay for just so they can make more money. Yeah, literally. It's a big problem in our industry is that it's all a dick measuring contest. Who's done all these qualifications? Who knows more? Who knows this? Can you help the person in front of you achieve their goal? If you can, you're better than 99% of people out there. So
yeah,
don't worry about it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't go and do courses. Just look who's teaching it, and do you
just
resonate?
Don't do it because just don't do it because of the title you get from it.
The title. Oh, the big ones we know pre and post natal. Absolutely fine. That I feel like that's okay because it's a kind of a caveat that people need for a special population. The advanced personal trainer one, no idea what that is. Not too sure. S&C, I would prefer you to go and do like CFFC or Exos or stuff that's like, oh, these guys actually train like Olympic athletes and NFL athletes and stuff like that. Again, I'm going to throw my neck on the line here. Don't think many of the tutors for S&C, whatever, level 4 probably don't do that kind of stuff. So go learn from the best. Surely they also have general population stuff that they all do. I would rather that. That's coming from part of my nearly 10 years of coaching and educating in this kind of field now. So I'm like, that's been my eye-opening stuff. And then what are the other ones that people do? GP referral. What the hell's that? What is that? I don't even know what the course is. I'm like, do you talk to GPs? What do you do? Do you learn how to be a referral? I've never heard anybody. I've actually never met a coach or trainer that has had a referral from a GP or had a referral kind of network set up. Never had it. Maybe there's definitely a scope there, 100%, but don't really understand how it would happen based off the NHS stuff. Have to be a private GP, surely. Because you don't get like money off or a kind of a voucher for £20 an hour, like physio sessions or something like that, because it's going to take more than 6 sessions. So normally you get like, 4 or 6 physio for half an hour. That's what Alex always used to go on about. He's like, I get no time with them whatsoever. It's kind of like sticky plaster, off you go. So yeah, crazy. But yeah, I don't know what else. Other courses, there's plenty out there, isn't there? Like TRX courses.
Don't.
Kettlebell 101. Yeah, I like that. I like those. They're fun. Right, mate. That was my little rant, obviously. Good, mate. Any other business?
No, not from me. Have a good week.
Not from you. Yeah, have a good week, guys. We never say that. Obviously, we haven't asked for a while. Go rate, do that business. Obviously, rate on Spotify because you can now do that. Young Joe told me that you can comment on it, but I think Young Joe is wrong. I don't think you can comment on Spotify. I certainly haven't been able to. So unless there's some Generation Z thing that I can't do, probably that I'm like missing. I can't see it. All right, mate. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next week.
See you later.